My name is Mia White, and I am an intern at CSMG focusing on esports. Today, I am joined by Jason Kirby from Generation Esports, which operates and powers high school esports league, or HSEL, based in Kansas City, Missouri. Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule, Jason.
No, thanks for having me.
Gladly. To get us started, do you mind taking a moment to introduce yourself a little further and explore on your background?
Yeah, sure. So my name is Jason. I'm the president and COO for Generation Esports. My background has been in gaming for the last 5 years or so. Previously at a cloud gaming technology startup called Liquid Sky that later sold to Walmart at the end of 2018, and joined the Generation Esports team about a year ago to help us grow, get more partnerships, get into more schools, and continue to scale, raise money, and make esports accessible to as many students as possible.
Right. So what is your position or role at Generation Esports?
Yeah, so I came on to be the chief operating officer. That many different hats, whether it be signing larger partnerships, helping optimize the team, and get the right people in the right seats to be able to service more customers, be able to onboard more schools, more organizations, do our partnership with the NJCAAE, basically come in and fill the gaps where we need them, and then hire the right people to take over and run the different departments. Since I've joined, I want to say we've doubled, if not tripled, the team in the last year, and it's just exciting times, it's an exciting market, and I'm here to help the team grow.
Wow, that's great. Congratulations on so much growth.
Thank you.
How did you get into esports personally, and why is it important to you?
So esports to me, I got introduced to it back in my last company in gaming. I played games all my life, more casually with my friends growing up, from playing things like Red Alert and Diablo, and of course, the earlier games like Nintendo, GoldenEye being the most popular, like a 9-inch VCR combo TV. Where four of my friends would be up against the screen on a split screen. 9 inches wasn't the best experience, but it was fun.
Yeah.
So games have always been a part of my life, but I always kind of felt never had the right gear, never had all the equipment to really participate. My friends were always upgrading, I never was. My parents didn't really support it, so I was kind of always missed out. I played traditional sports, played football for 8 years, got a lot of benefit from that in terms of teamwork, collaboration, commitment, but also walked away with 5 concussions and dislocated shoulders and broken bones and stuff like that. So kind of getting introduced to esports again later on in life, my previous company, when we were kind of powering some, esports solutions and, preventing cheating through cloud gaming, I was exposed to just the mass opportunity that esports has. And it wasn't until I met the founders of, Generation Esports and the High School Esports League, and seeing the impact that they had on these kids, where they have now, we have now 3,000 plus schools on the platform, but back then we had about 1,000. And hearing these stories of these kids of how they didn't feel like they belonged, they didn't have, they didn't play traditional sports, or they weren't doing too well in school, but then they heard about the esports program and they got super excited. They started showing up for school again. They started getting better grades. They started being more motivated to participate. They were bringing ideas to their teachers. Their teachers were blown away by, little Billy, who didn't participate in anything, was kind of forgotten in the corner, is now a front leader and, the leader of the organization, the esports club, and taking on all this extra responsibility. So what excites me and excites everyone at the company and gets us all to show up every day is just making sure we give as many opportunities to these kids as possible, because you never know which one's going to be the spark that, helps be the motivational factor in their life to take initiative and pursue different, career paths or, college readiness opportunities. And so that's something that really excites everyone here, and why we're all motivated to do what we do, is because we have that opportunity to impact those kids.
I love that. I feel as though everyone has a place in the world, and I think that esports brings a lot of comfort to a lot of people. So that's great.
Yeah.
Many times when we hear all the roar of esports, we hear it in a collegiate setting. What made the HSEL decide to focus on high school students instead?
Yeah, so there's a lot of fragmentation in the collegiate space. There's all kinds of different leagues, different tournaments, and all kind of stuff. And they're a little bit more established, and some of the colleges a little bit more established with their teams, more commitment. But we realized, like, just like, there's college football, there's also high school football. There's a lot bigger market in high school in terms of volume of people, maybe not dollars because there's no NCAA or anything like that. And it's not really about the money. It's more about, getting the kids involved and teaching them the value of teamwork and commitment to their fellow coaches and players, and just building a sense of community, building a sense of belonging, contributing to their schools, and just team spirit, whatnot. So there's all these like auxiliary benefits that come with just being a part of the team, but not necessarily like wanting to be the pro. You always got your top 1%ers that are just extremely gifted or are going to be the best. But what about the other 99% of athletes, in our case, esports athletes, that can still benefit dramatically from this? And so our founders, were in that kind of group of, like, they were gamers, they wanted to get more involved, and they just there wasn't anything for them. Gaming back then is taboo. It's like, oh, you sit down and study, don't play video games, kind of thing. And we're starting to see that shift. With Uga winning $3 million in Fortnite, as a high school student, it really shaped the conversation around kids and parents now understanding what esports is really all about now, and that it's a real sport. There's a lot of competition, there's commitment, there's practicing, there's teamwork, there's so much to it. And then parents, adults are now starting to realize that, and they're stop kind of causing so much friction for kids to adopt video games and encouraging it more. We now have kind of these weekend warrior dads that are like, oh, hey, did you play your Overwatch matches? Like, get back to Overwatch, kind of thing. And they're learning how to play Overwatch so that they can keep up with their kids. Just like, my dad brought me out to the football field to throw the football around, type thing. It's just, we're changing the dynamic. And high school, we just feel, is a massive opportunity for that. And it's also why we're launching Middle School Esports League this fall, to support a bigger pipeline of kids and actually try to get kids when they're younger, in particular, more girls involved. We see there's a significant skew of, boys in high school, which can be expected, but it shouldn't have to be that way. And a lot of the reasons why the girls don't want to participate is because it looks like a boys' club and they feel excluded. So if we get when girls are younger and there's less of these gender norm dynamics that exist at that age, they'll be more likely to kind of build up momentum and build up a sense of community. So when they go to high school, they can maintain that and continue to go. So we're changing up some of the games we offer for middle school to be more accommodating for young girls. We're going to be taking a lot more feedback, so we can kind of build a bigger pipeline that is more kind of gender diversity and diversity as a whole.
I think that's great. Good luck with the middle school league. Yeah, like you said, I mean, esports is very inclusive, so I think it's great that you're looking to include more girls and just everyone in general. I think that's awesome. Like you said, though, the high school level doesn't really have the NCAA or the ECAC, so have there been any challenges in finding other high school teams to participate in games, since a lot of times more college students are involved?
For us, we've been growing pretty rapidly. Our messaging and how we approach the market being kind of more education first and diversity inclusion, and more about the auxiliary benefits of bringing esports into the classroom, less so much about the video games themselves, has been kind of our conversation starter for the decision makers. And it's a minuscule investment in comparison to traditional sports or other kind of STEM-oriented programming that schools are investing into. And this has helped prove to increase STEM learning and STEM career readiness by involving esports, just due to the inherent nature of having to learn about computers and having to learn how to work on the open internet, how to be better digital citizens. And so we're seeing a significant amount of adoption, especially right now. Like, coronavirus is horrible as it has been for this country and the world. It started a new conversation in terms of maybe we should take esports a little bit more seriously. And it's helped accelerate a lot of our plans and our initiatives, because schools realize, like, well, one, for this time period, there's not really any social distancing safe sports outside of esports.
Mhm.
So it's getting some positive momentum there, but at least just sparked the conversation. So now people are at least looking at esports as a solution. And so we're getting districts and schools all across the country saying, we want in, how do we get started? And then that's where we spend most of our time, is just educating and hand-holding and, walking them through the process and providing all the infrastructure, software, and structure they need to start a program.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, esports is growing rapidly as it is, but coronavirus has definitely helped push it along the way, it seems like.
Yeah.
When we think of traditional sports, we know that there is a long history and everyone loves them. Do you think that esports will have that same staying power?
Well, you look at video games, becoming like coming to the scene in like the late 70s and the 80s, and we're just starting to see more and more momentum. There's 2.4 billion gamers across the world out of a 7 billion person population. Like, it's taken the world by storm, and the more we offer connectivity, accessibility, more devices, it's just an incredible form of entertainment. And like, Netflix is cited saying their biggest competitor is not Disney Plus or Hulu or these other streaming platforms. It's Fortnite, because they're fighting over attention. And Gen Z, they're getting entertained not just by playing games, but by getting live concerts in the middle of a tournament type opportunity that Epic is doing. And I think Epic's doing an incredible job of that level of engagement and constantly changing things, and having all these stimulation things to stimulate the kids' brains is fantastic. And so you look at the future ahead of us, and you look at Gen Z, you look at the millennial generation, and gaming is a huge part of our lives, and it's consuming more time than watching videos at this point. So YouTube's even threatened now at this point by video games. They're still going to be around for sure, but in terms of that timeshare of how much time people are spending of their attention on different mediums, gaming's just acquiring more and more and more of that timeshare, because gaming's interactive. You get to participate, you get to create the story as you play, as opposed to being force-fed a fixed story that has a fixed outcome. And that's why Netflix played around with the movie Bandersnatch, where it's kind of like choose your own adventure. They're trying to test this engagement activity where you can change the outcome. And that's essentially what gaming is. It's a 3D rendering engine that changes outcomes based on decisions. So to be short, I think, yes, gaming is going to be here for a very, very long time. I think things that Blizzard's doing in terms of their regional structure for leagues is going to pick up steam. Whether they're successful with Overwatch or other games is to be determined. But the fact that they've already been around for so long, it's going to probably continue to grow and create more opportunities.
Yeah, I agree 100%. It would be interesting to see how it continues to grow. Now, I don't know how much of a gamer you are, but before we go, we want to know, what is your personal favorite game and why?
I'm partially embarrassed to say, but right now I've been really addicted to Call of Duty Warzone. I'll probably get made fun of for that, but it's just really fun and easy for me to just hop into a battle royale match real quick, specifically the main royales, because I'm just so busy working all day, and I just kind of need like a quick de-stressor, which ironically Warzone is a de-stressor for me, because I just lose, totally focused on the match itself, not distracted, and then I can go back to work, and it kind of gives me like a little energy jolt to get back into my work day. So I'll probably play a quick match in the middle of the day and then go back to work and maybe play at night or something. But before that, I was playing Red Dead, and then I was playing kind of more of the story-based games that you can just kind of get lost into.
Yeah, no shame in the game. I heard it's all great, so no worries. Is there anything else you would like to add before we go?
I just, we're excited about our partnership with CSMG, the NJCAAE, and potentially bringing on more conferences in the collegiate space, and really helping kids from middle school all the way to college have, kind of one platform that they can tie their identity to for their kind of like scholastic profession, esports career, and, being able to get access to scholarships. We just paid out last week almost 50 grand in scholarships to our kids.
Wow.
Which is like super awesome and exciting. We have, we're working with more schools, colleges that are trying to get recruiting opportunities and scholarships to kids. So it's just so much more than video games these days, and we're just really excited to be a part of that growth and helping facilitate it.
Well, good luck to you, especially with the middle schoolers and the girls. I think that's great. And thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it.
Awesome. Thank you.
Take care.
All right, you too. Bye.
Bye.